All right. Who was that first spiritual experience you'd like to share with us? Please start 60 phone.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have something to share. So, I had two dreams I like to share. One of my dreams, I think it was kind of last night, right? I saw a couch in my mother's living room. And so I talked to my mother today, and I had found out, or like I knew she had a couch, and like I was asking her, you know, you never sent me a picture of the couch and stuff like that. And then I remember the dream I had where I saw a couch, and I was like, "Is the couch gray?" And then she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Whoa!"
That's
like,
impressive.
yeah, I was able to see the couch without like her ever showing me. Like I even was able to see like the color and like how the couch was set up, and I thought that was like very cool.
It was.
Yeah, and then the next dream was even more cool to me because so y'all know I drive a semi truck, and in my semi truck my heater doesn't work, and I was gonna get it fixed like later on in the summer or something like that, right? And I just didn't know where I can go to get it fixed. And so within my dream, I'm talking to this guy, and I'm like, hey, like, where can I go and get my heater fixed or something like that? And then he immediately said, like, oh, you can go get it fixed at Fleet. And I kind of, after that, I kind of woke up, and I was like, whoa, I know exactly that shop that he's talking about. And the shop was, like, literally, like, right across from, like, my job to where I can go and get it fixed. And I was like, I thought that was cool because it was like the first time I ever like, to me, where I recognized like I got a message, like kind of so clearly, where like, I don't know, yeah.
All right, I'd like you to start realizing now that you're not seeing things, you know, like premeditated. What's actually happening is that you're creating these realities. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You created the gray couch and the heater situation. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next quantum leap you have to take. Okay, it's some amazing things. You all are amazing, and it's going to be revealed that you're much more amazing than you could ever imagine. Just like Fahud, all was stationary, set things in the vibratory motion, but everything that you call existence or creation, believe it or not, is one dot, one nukta that exploded out of the right pupil of my eye. What I'm telling you is that everything, all the stars, people, planets, galaxies, everything, all of that is just one particle, one tiny particle, moving at such a high rate of rapidity that it appears to be everywhere at one time. So you're talking about a speed that surpasses light and thought by so many degrees. You can't calculate it. You follow me? All right, thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. Amun. Who has that next spiritual experience they'd like to share with us?
Rahul back.
Rahul back.
I have one massage.
Very good.
This is Ivy.
Okay.
And one of the.
I know you told Ivy, and I know Andrew. Go ahead.
What keeps on happening? People say it's like random people, like from the convenience store, the one I work at. They say that they remember me, or like I'm some type of familiar, but I've never seen them or like had an interaction with them before.
Okay, repeat.
Multiple people that I don't know, like are random, like they will meet me and say that they remember me from somewhere, or I'll remind them of somebody specific.
That's right.
Or sound like somebody.
I know what that is too. That's very good. You all are waking up very fast. Very fast. I'll tell you a definite sign of waking up is when you go to like a large event, say a football game, and then you look around the whole stadium and everybody looks just as you. You follow me? Then you'll know that you are. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but well, we were just talking before you got on the call on Zoom, and I kind of noticed that, like, nowadays people don't celebrate holidays. As you know, 4th of July is about to come up, and I feel like a new, like, earth is, or like, you know, the new earth, the new heaven is coming
paradigm,
because,
yeah.
like, yeah, because nobody's really celebrating the holidays like
no more Christmas,
like they used to when I was a kid.
Halloween, nobody cares anymore. And you're right, holidays were basically centered around children, and since they're scarce as hen teeth, it follows. But what it is people are waking up to, we'll call it the devil, you know, and they don't believe in Halloween or Christmas, any fake. People are waking up to Christianity. Do you realize the Catholic Church is so far underwater that they have to pay people to occupy the pulpits? I mean the church. They have to pay their members to come to church.
So it's the other way around now.
Yeah. Nobody believes in the devil anymore. And the problem with that is that you all are the deities, and you're creating reality. And if you stop believing in the devil, they'll cease to exist. So you understand now how they're not being born anymore, and how they're disappearing faster than they're being born, right?
Yep.
You all will them into the cornfield. It was only your belief that was giving power to the beast. People don't really believe in politics anymore, or religion or anything. That's right. You don't see on Christmas everybody all down the street with all the lights and Christmas and all that. On Easter, the Easter fox and little boys and girls dressed up, you know, everywhere you go. No more. People are no longer disillusioned. They're no longer disillusioned. And the devil is a lie, and that's his strength, his foundation. You follow me?
Sure.
You all created him, and you're uncreating him. Right? So they're disappearing right in front of your face. All right? Next spiritual experience.
I have one.
Very good.
And it's I think a question as well.
Very good.
I want to quickly ask. I'm now 29, and 10 years ago I started dancing, and I did hip hop, and I did hip hop shows, and
don't cut a step for us right now.
Sorry?
Cut a step for us right now.
A step what?
I was saying, I was just joking. I was saying, cut the rug, do a little dance for us right now. Of course, I'm being facetious. But the day will come, you'll be able to do it, and we'll be able to see it. Go ahead.
Okay, I will show you then. I will show you then, of course. So, as I was shifting within myself, and I got higher and higher, and I stopped dancing after 10 years, so let's say 2 years ago. And I was trying to elevate my vibration with healthy foods and stuff, and getting better in shape and everything. So I always liked athletic stuff like sports, dancing, and just being in touch with my body, you know?
Right.
So 1 or 2 years ago, I started playing football again, because me as a kid, I always wanted to play football. But it's called football here, but it's called soccer in your country. So I was playing soccer a lot when I was a kid. But then I wanted to go back, and I was like, will I go back? Will I not go back? And then I made the decision I would go back, and I will play again. So I'm playing now the third year now. And about 6 months ago, I made the decision that I wanted to go pro. But seeing the
you're very good.
I am. I actually really am, and I'm. That's why I wanted to ask you, because I know that with the awakening that I'm having now, I realize that I can do everything I want to do.
Right.
But I want to do something that is good. You know, I don't want to do any devil's work or.
Well, entertaining people is a good thing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, keeping yourself physically and spiritually disciplined and in tune. Okay. And whenever you're doing good things, there's no room for negativity.
Okay. Okay.
You see, and I want to inform you all that with the Most High, He always He says that you all have room for one occupation. Did you hear me? And you can still do His work. But never two occupations. You'll be overly occupied and distracted, and you can't do the Creator's work. But you can all have one occupation.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know, because for me it was, what you're saying is like I had to choose, indeed, between the dancing and I can make music.
But you don't have to.
I was like, okay, but I don't have to, and
no,
I want to choose one, so I chose the soccer. But I was like, okay, so I go professionally and stuff. I will go there and I will get there, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm not doing any bad stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, okay, then it's good. Okay,
yeah, it is good. Because let me say about people who have to overstand the Most High. And some people judge him erroneously, you know, reptilians and things, say he's not fair. White people say it all the time. But let me tell you that what they describe as guardian angels are actually your higher self that records everything that you do, physically and in the spiritual realm as well. Now with the Creator, there's a mizan or balance set up to determine which preponderates in a person, whether it's good or evil. So every time you commit an evil deed, it's written down as such in your ledger, right? And that's kept in a place called Sijin. And every time you do something good, it's also recorded. And that's kept in Ilion in the highest places. Now, every time you think of something good that you want to do, but you don't have an opportunity to follow out and it doesn't happen, you know that's still recorded as a good deed, right?
I didn't know.
Yes, it is. I want you to know. And whenever you think of something negative or evil, and then you don't carry that out, that's not recorded.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yes, indeed. Ain't that loving you? If you can't make it from there, you belong in you know, right. You said he's not fair. I hear you. All right, Andrew.
So that's going to be bad energy?
Say it again.
See how you say whatever energy flows wherever it goes, so there wouldn't be bad energy if you think it's something bad to do to a person, but you don't do it?
If you don't do it, it's not recorded. But if you think of good energy, but if you think of something good to do, and you don't get a chance to follow through with that, it's still recorded. Your intention is sufficient to make it recorded as a good deed, if it's sincere.
Okay.
Ain't that lovely? You?
Turn up.
Yes, beautiful.
All right, Andrew. Yes.
Right. Here I am.
The sister keeps trying to get my attention. I'm listening. Andrew, are you here?
Tua, I'm here.
All right. I was wondering if you could kind of describe your experience when you came and spent 2 days with me recently. I would like to say that I tip my celestial hat to you, and in every way I bless you and appreciate you. But Andrew came here and said a lot of things straight on the computer, and opened up doors for me to be able to create DVDs and edit classes and what have you. And I just want to, it's a lot. It's not as simplistic as that, but he did a yeoman's job, and you should all be grateful to him, just like Khufu Amun, right? and Katat, because these people are really, really buoying up and supporting, carrying the mission on their backs. And I just want to let you all know that I am very grateful to them as well, as all of you that help in the ways that I hear you. And Sky, I was just talking. I'm talking about you all too that support the mission financially and post up and contributed your energy and your time. Because like you said, Sky, wherever the attention goes, energy flows. You follow me?
Yes.
So I want to let you all know that you're very much appreciated for the good that you do. And always remember that your good deeds do follow you, okay?
Yes, it does.
Thanks, Andrew.
They do. Your good deeds do follow you. That's right. All right. Anybody else with a spiritual experience? Another? I love you.
Y'all very wicked.
Say it again, Bess.
I do.
Thank all of the brothers and sisters for what they do for us. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you. Yes, let's thank them, please, together.
And thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody together.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. Thank you,
everybody.
Thank
Thank y'all.
Thank you so
I
much.
love you.
One love.
Yes.
We are all one.
Nothing like you all.
Yeah, and then to the Jasmine, I think you said, did you thank me for being here tonight? Is that what you said? Or thanking them for being here. It's the same thing because we're all one. But I want you all to know that I am faithful and true. Revelation 3:14.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, unto the angel of the church of Laodicea, right, saying these things. The Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. I am faithful and true to you all. All right. Let's get that first question or that next spiritual experience.
Hi, Beth. I've got a question.
Go ahead, Bess.
I got one to follow up.
Okay, go ahead, follow up, son.
Oh, the ladies can go. My question is simple. I would love to have some time tonight to talk about heaven.
Oh,
things
okay.
that you've been wanting to share.
In fact, I'm going to open up the door to that right now, some more information about heaven. Very good. I just want to get the first questions. I love you. I would like to get the questions that people have. Or do you all want me to get started right now?
Yeah, what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask, has the Creator got 99 names and attributes?
I think I sent that to you, right?
Has he got many titles? Sorry?
Didn't I send that to you all?
He goes by many names, but I'm wondering, what's the main name that we need to know?
All right. Now, let me say this. I was in New Orleans. I was a rabbi, and I had a community, and Malachi had been calling for me all day, but I was out across the river in Algiers, and when I finally got home, I pulled up, and it was a whole pile of Nawabians out there saying, Ahmed at that time, the master's been trying to get in touch with you, so And so I went inside and I called him, and he started talking real fast as usual. And then when there was a pause, I said, now what about that part in the Holy Tablets where it said, if you recite certain attributes, you get power, you get healed, or you have a child, or this, that, and the other. But there's this one word you can recite, and all power will be given to you. I said, can you tell me that? What would you tell me? He said, no, I can't do that. He said, but I promise you that in time, if you stay on the path, that it will be revealed to you. So what happens is this. The masters that know that you are sincere about the mission, they come to you at night, and they reveal the greater secrets to you in your sleep. You follow me? So, yes, I know that word, but I can't just pronounce it over the phone. It's too powerful. You hear me, sister? But I can guarantee you, if you stay on this direction, stay on this course, stay on this path, this Surat, this fine filament over hell, it will be revealed to you, okay?
Well, mainly my concern was that he doesn't answer, so why doesn't he answer everyone? Or is there a reason why? So I'm just wondering if they don't call by the correct name or there's something else.
Okay, what he doesn't, because, let me simplify it. Every flower blooms in its own season. That is to say that when it's revealed to you, it won't be revealed to your child at the same time, okay?
Okay.
Every flower blooms in its own season.
That's right. That's correct, yeah.
All right. Now, just a minute.
Oh.
Bess, did you have a question?
I've got another question.
Or a statement?
I've got... Oh.
No.
Okay. Let's try to open up the doors on a little bit of this heaven. All right. So, we're talking about reverse hypnosis sessions that people are starting to master the ability to do, and you all can as well. Well, if the hypnosis brings you back to your childhood, back to a baby, and then even before that, you start remembering, and they actually keep going further and further until they contact your oversoul, your higher self, and ask your higher self questions. And sometimes the higher self will reveal certain lives that you had or experiences that you call lives. Sometime in the past, but sometimes in the future. And when they're in the future, they record those and give them to the public. All right. So when we go through these hypnosis sessions, we drop down into a life. Whatever life the higher self decides to show that person. Not always a past life. Not always an earth life. We always just try to figure out what's in the surroundings first. And what does the body actually look like? Is it a human body? Is it a non-human body? An animal, plant, mineral? We have no idea. So we're first figuring out the environment, then the body. Then if it is an individual that could possibly have a home or a dwelling, we actually have them take us there to that home or that dwelling and describe it. Now I want to tell you that I know this is real because I've experienced those things not only out there, but on earth, you know, because like Yanu said to me in Solomon's Temple, I belong to two worlds. All right. For us, and then we go through that life, and then we access the higher self, and we get more information from a higher perspective. That's the general guidelines for these sessions. And so here we go. We have a gentleman. He drops down into a life, and he's describing it for me here. It's really green. It's warm. It's tropical. There's trees and bushes and all kinds of vibrant colors everywhere. Just absolutely green, beautiful. And he says, it's like I'm in paradise. And I said, well, okay. Let's have a look at you. And he says, actually, it feels like I'm still in this body. I have bare feet. We always start with the feet. I actually feel like I want to be pretty bare here. I'm just wearing shorts. Some really nice material. It's not like the cloth we wear here. I said, okay. He says, it's comfortable. It's flowy. And he said, I only have shorts on. I don't have a shirt on. And when we get up the body into the head and the face, I look the same, except I look like what I worked for in this life. Muscular. Like really muscular. And he says, my body actually feels normal. Finally, it feels healthy. It feels the way I always thought it should feel, but it never quite did. So I feel like what I've always been finally, so this goal he had, this potential of who he could be, he finally reached it. He says, my face actually looks a little younger. My cheekbones are more refined. My hair is a little fuller. It's awesome to run my fingers through it. I'm just so enjoying this body. So really get experience with who he is at this point in time. We're moving through the scene, and he's describing his environment. And eventually I asked, do you think you have any control over your environment here? And he said, yes, absolutely. He says, everywhere you walk, mute your phone.
Mute your phone.
Star 6 your phone. He says, everywhere you walk, it responds to your energy. So there are people here that have walked with me in the summertime, and they see wherever I put my feet, when I lift them up, there's a green outline of my footprint, or a blue outline, and it fades away as I move on. And the trees, when I move stars, there's a wind that blows around me, and it lights up the trees and the surrounding. Like many of you described, the blue light lighting up the environment that surrounds you when I perform spiritual acts, right? Okay. So the trees around you will respond to your presence, kind of like a breeze going through them. And it reaches out around you like 20 feet or so. It acts like a breeze, but it's your energy. I keep telling you all that's my energy that's doing that. That's making the stars get brighter and this, that, and the other. Or the moon have an aura brighten up around. And I said, oh, your energy is pretty large. And it reaches out so far. Are you consciously doing anything? To push your energy out? And he said, no. If I were to consciously do it, I could go way beyond that. So the potential there is for him to consciously do it, but he's just walking. He's just normally walking through the beautiful paradise. So I said, does that work both ways? Does it feel like the environment is actually sending energy to you? So you can see it actually responding to your energy? Are you responding to its energy? And he says, yes, we're communicating. We're showing each other appreciation. We're coexisting and connected. He says, it's different. Nothing that can cause me any harm. That's not the kind of breeding he's getting from the environment. It's just like energetic, beautiful coexisting. A friendship. and they're communicating. So we have established the environment. We've established his body. Now it's time for him to take me to wherever he lives. So he says, that actually, it feels like Swiss Family Robinson almost, he says. It's in the trees. It's also kind of on the mountains. So it's in the trees, in the canopy of these trees. Not down in the trees like on the floor. No, it's up in the trees like Swiss Family Robinson. And then he actually goes on a mountain. He describes being on a mountain, on these trees, and looking out over a valley. And from this vantage point, he can see everywhere. He says he feels like he's on the top of a mountain, but in this canopy of trees. And he says, when he came right into the main area of his structure, there in the trees. And he said it glows. It glows from the inside out. And there are people here, like the ones that live with me, that have frequently seen my aura bright in the dark. So it is true, that's your energy glowing. Or my energy making the moon and the stars brighter. There are no lights in there. It just has a glow to it. It emanates light. And he says it's like part of our essence. It's in the home. It's shining from the inside out. He said if people looked up from the valley below, they would see it glowing like a beacon, having energy from the people living in it. And he says, my partner, my twin flame, and I live here. And the kids live in little bungalow trees or little bungalows around it, available through walkways. And he says, it just feels like home. And he said, the valley is beautiful. Because I asked him, to go look over the valley. And he said, oh, it's beautiful. It's ours. It's in our charge, in our care. And he says, all the life from the animals, the plants, the water, and air, they all look to us in a way to be a guide and to be likened and to be liked. And then he says, off to the right, there's the valley when he looks down below. And then when he looks off to the right, there's a large body of water. He says we like to spend a lot of time in that large body of water. Then I get back to the people and I said, though you get this feeling that you're kind of responsible for the people in this valley, what is it that you do? And he said, I just bring love. I carry love. They carry love too. Otherwise, they wouldn't be. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. It's just that simple. I carry a condensed love on a bigger scale. He doesn't say I, he actually says we, him and his twin flame. They together, they hold this higher vibration and condensed version of love. We tune them to a frequency of love that's higher. Just walking amongst them tunes their love frequency higher to a higher level, raising them up and keeping them there. So they have a big job to do. They're actually responsible for tuning this area for a higher vibration. And I asked, what would you describe your role as? You and your partner. Love. We're love. We're life. I'll hear you. We're a beacon, a guide, and it's not always said through words. Not that they're just saying things to these people. It's just done through being. It's that in that area and connecting to everyone. We just enjoy life, live in bliss. We help each other. We encourage other people, and it's not like send the post out. And it's not like we live in a desolate place. And they need encouragement for survival. It's a new level of existing. So we're just encouraging them up to a higher level. Now we haven't yet in this session established that he's in the new earth or anything, so he doesn't know any of that. I'm sure he has an idea, but he just hasn't articulated it in the session yet. So he's just explaining his existence here and what they're doing. So that is what they're doing. So that is his role with his partner. That's what they do in this area. So I asked, are there others like you two, there in that place or near there? And he says, it's possible. There are hundreds or even thousands of miles away. There are others doing something similar, but they are the main two people in this area doing that. So I said, all right, that's your purpose. That's your responsibility. What do you do in your free time? And he says he likes to swim and play in nature in ways that you just can't do here, that he couldn't do before, and we enjoy flying a lot. That is amazing. So they go flying. They do crazy stuff that just isn't available to them now. So nature becomes his playground, and they're playing along with it. Now, I was in an alternate reality, and I was walking down the street in the daylight, but the trees were so large that the crowns of the trees were growing over the street in a way to create a kind of a tunnel effect. And the big houses and the little houses were along the side of the sidewalk. Now, when I was walking down that beautiful paradise, Malachi, Yanoon, he started flying over the top of my head, tumbling head over feet over my head. And I looked up at him, and I said, why are you doing that? And he just kept going, tumbling, flying. And he said, oh, I do this all the time, right? And I know because I fly over there. And I said, okay, flying is everybody able to do that? And he says, yeah. And I said, okay, can you send yourself to the water, that large body of water over there, or do you just fly? And he said, we do what we want. You can fly, you can send yourself there, it doesn't matter. And he said, when he's in the water, there seems to be bigger animals in the water that want to come up and say hi, and also get an energy tune-up. A lot of people come to me all over and they, give me that energy, and they hug me, right? And he says, he can really change the atmosphere. And he said, he can really change the atmosphere just by touching, just by being. And he says, you can do that here, now, in the 3D world. I know that's right. Now listen good, just by, he says, and you could, he says, you can do that here, now, in the 3D world. But it's just way more evident there that your energy is actually affecting the area around you. You can see it, you can feel it, you can get evidence of it, and here you can sometimes know, I am now doing something, but they are not responding to me and giving me feedback. That what I'm doing is actually working. So he's saying when he's in 3D, he can feel that same power of love and energy working, but it's not as evident, right? You have to guess a little bit. So this energy that he's sending out, tuning people up with and tuning the environment up with, I said, where do you see it coming from on your body? And he said his chest and his arms. It's everywhere, truly, but he says he feels it's emanating from his chest. He says, my twin is on the beach, because she's in the water. He's in the water at this point. And she is walking along the sand. She's showing him she's getting independent, showing him that as she is walking, energy is emanating from her feet. That's what I'm telling you. Not going directly down, but just spreading out, spreading out, spreading out, with every step. So he said, there is some reason why she's showing me this. He doesn't know why yet in the session, but it becomes evident later. This individual is a musician. He's a musician, and a very talented musician. And so is Andrew. He played the guitar for us while he was here. Bless him. And so we're talking about what role does music play in this life. And he says, actually, it's everywhere. And he says, I don't see electronic instruments. We also learn to do telepathic music, where we can play with frequencies that we can put out and other people can hear, and you can just send it out of your body. And he says that takes some skill. So you don't want to just send out some terrible music. It takes some skill to learn how to play with energy in a certain way. Anyway, we always have to, and we always have stuff to learn. It's fun. It's not like you're there and you're stagnant and you're just blissing out. There is so much to learn, and that's exciting. We're discovering things all the time. He says laughter is all you hear. That's the fun part of living up where he lives. He said he can hear laughter echoing from all directions, coming up from the valley and everything. And so in these sessions, we also move ahead to an important day. And so we're moving ahead. We're leaving that scene. We're moving ahead in that life to an important day. And he says, it's nighttime. Him and his twin, they're just walking under the trees. And he says, this sounds silly, but the trees are actually glowing. They do that for me here. And all the colors are emanating from the plants. And I can look at him and his twin and ask, are there any colors coming from you? And he says, yeah. That's why I want certain herbs, because one of my good brothers, Quico Andrew, another big herbologist that has a plantation on the Gold Coast in Africa, and he has a place in College Park, Georgia, herb farm. Before he passed, he used to tell me about it. He would take this herb, and he could take his hand and make small objects levitate, and whenever he got around plants, they would start glowing and all these wonderful things. But I wasn't into that at that point. I was doing other things. Okay. He said, Quico, to me, Ahmed, we were elders. We were the elders a long, long time ago on earth, and we were all together in Africa. You said, and we created the crystal skulls with our thoughts, and then we spread out all over the world, and we made an agreement that at the end of the time we would all come back together. Right? Okay. Walking under the trees, and he said, this sounds silly, but the trees are actually glowing, and all the colors are emanating from the plants. And I can look at him and his twin and ask, are there any colors coming from you? He says, yeah. She's glowing very white. And he says, he's glowing like a bluish white. And he said that they can send colors out from their hand. And he said, like fireworks with intention. And he said, that's right, I can say this job with the palm of my hand. And he said, we work a lot with the earth. and with nature. And we're tuning it up, which is why I'm hearing now, which is why I'm having Earth sign. He has an Earth, and his twin has an Earth sign. So he was tickled by that. And I said, are you in contact with any off-world beings in this place? Is it just kind of isolated, or is it universal, galactic, whatever? And he says, yeah, we're in contact, and we talk with them about this planet. We have fun with them, too, and hang out. We travel off-planet also, but we always come back because it's part of our purpose to be here. They have a job to do, and they don't want to lose sight of that. So then we move forward one more time, even later. Just imagine yourself in this place. We're all outside with the family. The kids are grown at this point, and they have their partners of their own. But him and his twin, they don't look too much older. So the kids have grown up, but it becomes apparent that they can keep themselves at whatever age they want to basically be. The aging is optional. That's why I tell you all, describe the age you want to be in. The physical aging is optional. Then I did something that I like to do in these sessions. If I think that we can get further information, I ask him to go ask his twin. Start asking his twin questions. And so I said, I'd like you to ask that version of your partner some questions. That version of your partner, right? Ask her how you got there. This is funny because it happened in the other session, too. In other words, this person did a hypnotic session with his wife or mate, and it was so much similar. Okay, her experience, she was just saying it from her perspective. Okay, she looks at me like, why are you asking? So I explained to him, tell her that you're in 2018 and that you're asking her stuff and she needs to explain it to you. Like that's going to make sense. But apparently it does because she's already dealt with it. It's in the past, whatever. So she says that we got together in the 3D because currently they're not together physically right now. They know who each other are, but they aren't able to have a relationship right now. Just because of their circumstance, we got together in 3D. We were able to power up. So once we were together, those two energies coming together powered them up to a higher level. And then we jumped to this new earth. And he says we went to our destiny on the hill. And he said there was an event that happened. So that was the catalyst. And that's when he started to see the colors of this 5D world. This 5D world that even during the session, they started to see those colors on the 3D earth. After that event, he said that they were already traveling. Their frequencies were already traveling between those two worlds, the 3D and the 5D. But they just weren't so aware of it. That's why I perform these kind of miracles for you all and have you to do it with me, to strengthen your spiritual muscles. But they just weren't so aware of it. And so once the event happened, that's when their natural eyes started noticing that they were moving back and forth into the next dimension. You all want me to go on?
Yes.
Class?
Yes.
Can you all hear me?
You all hear me? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, I love you. So I thought that was super interesting. They're already moving back and forth between dimensions. That's what we do in Star Moves. I'm moving you back and forth, like almost too rapidly to see. And they're probably not super conscious of it. But when this event comes, that's what happened with Anugas and myself when we took that walk. But when this event comes, they'll actually be able to see when they're in each one. At this point in the session, he affirms that he is in the new earth. Because I'm not just going to assume that in my mind. He's in the new earth. He just gotta be. But I never just blurted out that or anything. So he actually affirmed it in this session. Yeah, I'm in the new earth. And I said, when do you end up traveling there? Because he's still talking to his partner who lived through that. When do you end up traveling there? And he said, she says that we end up going in 2019, at some point in 2019. But please, anytime you hear dates, remember, take it with a grain of salt. Dates are always fluctuating. That's how it works, because it's so many different factors. Dates are fluctuating. Plus, there's a higher entity, all right. So that version of her said that they went in 2019. That version of her also, at some point, said that the event happened in 2018, and that they ended staying for a while on this earth and then went into this new earth in 2019. But that doesn't mean that that's the case or that's actually going to happen. She says 2019, but it's up to us, the decisions that they make. We can go through her if we decide to go through her. So there are things within those two. Some decisions they have to make together in order to actually help them decide whether or not they want to go then or not. Then we finally get to the higher, because I made a right turn when we was walking right into heaven. Finally get to the higher self. I'm asking to speak to the higher self. Once we go through that life, and to get in touch with your higher self, always remember the CD that I created for you all called The Cosmic Traveler. Listen to that every night and follow all the instructions very intensely. I mean, when it says inhale hard, and exhale hard, repeat the words, and you'll feel kind of euphoric. And when you fall asleep, keep playing it, and you'll end up in one of those realities, okay? All right.
That is so true.
Yes, it is. I love you. Then we finally get to the higher self. Yes. Then we finally get to the higher self. I'm asking to speak to the higher self. Once we go through that life, generally, I take people to the last day in the life they're watching. But obviously, that's the future. And we're going to do that. That would be a trip. I don't even know if they will take us there. But we leave there, and I ask to speak to his higher self. And always the first question when we get to the higher self, for me at least, is why did you show that client that life? I met my higher self listening to the Cosmic Traveler. And I walked to my higher self, was standing in front of my higher self, and I recognized I was getting ready to start talking, then the phone rang. It was Kiefer, Amun, and woke me up out of that. I was crushed. Okay, you could have shown them anything. Why did you show them that life? So never call people early in the morning, real early. Don't do that. And so the higher self said, the current lifetime is the most important life. We don't need to show him the past anymore. We don't need to show him anything about right now. It says right now is the most important lifetime, and he needs to see what he's going through. And I said, okay, what else would you like to tell him about that lifetime that you haven't already showed him? They said that life is all about him finally becoming what he's meant to be. Okay, and you keep noticing that the higher self speaks in the plural, saying we, not I, all right? So that's the collective, as we're all one, we're all in all, right? Okay, so you need to be posting up to try to gather your collective. You follow me? Because when the people you gather and bring, that'll be your family when we get there. And they'll be grateful for you. And they'll be grateful to you for reaching out to them. Okay? Of course. And so will I. And so will the Most High. And so will Faout and all. He's meant to be. He's with his body, soul, and his spirit. All parts of him with this energy. His connection with his twin and how they merge. It said he should just really be looking forward to that and take some time each day to just live there, just live in that connection, in that place, in that higher energy. And he needs to take that and consciously pull up his roots from this earth. And I take many of you all at night to the new heaven and new earth, and I plant your feet there. This is specific to him, but then later they give guidelines to other people. The reason I do that is because of Vesica Pisces. Because as the two worlds separate, I plant your feet in the new earth so that you won't get left behind. It'll pull the rest of you with it as it goes in that direction up. So pull up his connection to the earth and ground him to the new earth. Grounding in this current earth is not something that we want this client to do anymore. Not to ground to 3D, right? And same for his twin. So it's like the description of the feet walking along the beach when you're connecting to the planet and communicating to the planet. That's what they want to envision him doing and her doing as they're trying to connect to this new earth. So that's kind of why she showed him that. They were just sending out energy from the wall branching out from her. Okay, it was branching out from her. It was not rooting down. It was just branching out and sending energy. So that would, her footsteps, every time she walked, you could see the energy in the form of light spreading out from her feet, right? So what would you like to tell him about his life over the next few months, 6 months, whatever? Then the higher self proceeds to give this specific client instructions for him about how to start transitioning out of his current kind of 3D job. He has a purpose, and his purpose is one as a healer, and they want him to start doing that work. And so they give him specific instructions about moving into energetic and healing work. Make sure you don't have more than one occupation because you'll miss out on this journey. And they said that moving into that work will allow him the freedom that he needs when he's ready for it, when this event happens, to start moving along with his twin and start doing this around the world. Start helping people transition. And it says because that's what they're supposed to do together on this earth, is help people transition to this new earth and get prepared for it. And that part of the community that they're actually going to be watching over. So the more people that they help, they're actually creating their tribe as they do this. That is so cool. So when he was up in that tree and he was looking down at that valley full of people, those are the people that are going to come, that he's actually helping on this earth right now. So they're going to be building their community. Him and his twin and others. So we want him to be able to do that, to have the freedom to be able to do that. And I say, is that why they're staying until 2019 instead of just going when this event happens? Because that's what they said. Okay, so that's what happened. Anubis and I, we could have been already gone, but I came back for the fourth time, because Malachi came to get me 3 times. It will be about a year between when the event happens and when they go. So it says in this timeline, they're staying until 2019 because it just seems to take longer for them to move. But they also would want to stay if they don't think they have things built over there the way that they want them built. But remember, these timelines and everything is moving so quickly. We're talking about so many people involved and so many different timelines for each person. So a lot of factors here going on. So keep that in mind. Remember that as things are moving so quickly, now back and forth, there's this warp field that time is not what we think it is. So it's not just linear. Most of you guys know that, but it's also not what we think it is. Also not what we think it is. There are so many different things weaving in and out and affecting it. Here, Nufus. Start reading right here. So, go ahead. Just a minute. Anu's going to read a little bit to you all. It's a lot. You're not going to be able to cover it all, but heaven is a wonderful thing. I'm telling you, and it's the worthy pursuit. It's more important than anything that you think you occupied with at this point in time. But you should come out of it, my people. Come out of it. Be in the world, but not of the world. Right? And don't occupy yourself with more than one occupation, because you'll be too distracted to get to heaven. All right. Go ahead.
So you calling occupation also the same?
So it says staying a year is not that much to them. It mentions that they want a certain percentage of him living on the new earth before he actually goes. That they want him to keep a percentage of him on there. And so I'm asking about that. What on there? And they said they need to have him and his twin. They need to have a part of them all times with their daily mentions, with their daily meditations, and taking time to be on new earth. Imagining it and connecting through their feet to the ground, or connecting to the environment as they showed with the plants and everything. We want them to imagine that, and we want them to imagine that and visualize it and meditate on that. And then we want them to leave that piece of them there when they're done with their meditations or imagining. Best to leave 25% of themselves there. When you do that, you're grounded to the new earth. That's where you are. and when the old earth and the new earth continue to separate like the vesica Pisces. So when the new earth and the old earth move apart, if your feet are over in the new earth and your body, the rest of you is in old earth, then as they move apart, the new earth will just absolutely just keep pulling you because you're grounded in the...
Now let me tell you all this. I was telling the Nugas and a lot of you all that I'm planting your feet in the new earth long before I found this information. So believe me when I tell you, I know what's real and what's not. You follow me? And this is real, right? I know the differentiation between allegorical and decisive. I have the far coin to decide what is real and what is not. I have the far coin, the differentiation between allegorical and decisive. You follow me? I am your Messiah, your spiritual guide. Believe it. Be careful. Follow my instructions. You want it to be a very beautiful outcome, then listen to me. Don't just let it go in one ear and out the other. You follow? All right.
Cool.
So it'll pull you with it as it separates from the old earth. That's what they're trying to say here. So when the old earth and the new earth continue to separate like the vesica Pisces, their feet are in the new earth, and it's just going to pull them all along, pull them right along.
It's amazing how they come to...
And so I say...
Let me say, for those of you all that watch the DVD I sent you on your post called Searching for Heaven, right? I found that information right after I taught a class on the same subject material. But I've been teaching that for years and years. But now it's starting to come out in the greater world, right? Like the Great Couch and the, you know, all these things, the place to get the heater fixed is starting to manifest, right? That what I'm telling you is the truth, because you're getting the echo from the universe, from creation, from all, that he is telling you the truth. He's guiding you right. You got it? Exactly. All right.
Thank you.
And so I say, would you like to tell them anything about the event? It says that will be very soon. Very soon. He'll be at home, and his twin will be in her city. And I said, what do you see specifically happening to him during the event? He's going to specifically feel waves going through him. He's going to see the next version of himself, that updated of himself, that updated version of himself. The client 2.0 version of himself at this point, and after he's going to be able to contact this next version of himself very easily and move into that, to live in that, as will so many others. It will be commonplace to see the new earth. He's already dreaming the new earth, and he's already imagining it. But we'll get more and more vibrant. There will be day visions, not just him dreaming of it, which this client in particular has a lot of new earth dreams, so he'll actually start to have visions of it during the day. And I say, will he be out of it for a while when these waves hit him? He said, I wouldn't call it out of it, but there will be some people who will be out of it. Some people will be here. Some people will be able to enjoy it, though. But if it's so far off of your current frequency, then it will make you very, very dazed. But if it's more of a match to your frequency,
Right.
it would be more of a blanket of happy, blissful wave going through your body.
But then we'll start on crazy.
Now that's what I want to experience. So I'm going to
They
actually
don't understand it.
get myself prepared and have been, and a lot of you have been as well. So I said, what advice would you give to the general public for becoming aware, becoming more of a match to this energy? So what do we need to do to be more of a match to this energy when it hits? So we're not totally out of it. We don't.
Their world is movement, ugly and chaotic and evil.
We don't get blown over. And it says about growing to the new earth.
All the time. Good and love all the time.
I would say they need to begin to ground to the new earth and lift up the meditations so that they're no longer grounded to the current earth, and that will match them to these waves that are coming. And I said, he got to actually experience that. What would you tell them to help them to ground to the new earth? And it said, I would describe their feet touching the earth and feeling as though they are a tree pulling energy through as though they were a plant, as though they are a plant. Right. They're feeding from new earth, also putting energy back, just like the oxygen circle of a plant, connecting as a plant or being onto the new earth, taking energy that way. And from the new earth and back.
All right, how many of you all remember mute your phone? How many of you all remember walking with me and me showing you the green and blue lights and all that everywhere? That it is green light everywhere. When you see that, I was actually walking you into the new earth. You didn't know it.
I remember.
Because I know you remember. I love you. Because you see, you cannot see that with your physical eyes. That's spiritual eye. You can only see that with your mind's eye. Because nobody else around you is moving stars. It is really me, and it's really you, and I'm here for you. Your name is in the book, and only you can remove your name out the book of life. Don't do it. Nothing is worth that. Look, let me slow down for a minute and ask who has questions right now or statements they'd like to make.
I have a question.
I'll do my best.
So, are these individuals that are in this...
Okay, I didn't hear you now.
Are these individuals a part of the 144,000, or they're another group?
Yes. Yes. But you're talking about degrees of knowledge, not necessarily amounts of people.
Tua.
See, the reason, let's rationalize this. It's got to be more than 144,000, right? Because think about how many thousands of years the earth has been here and how many people have been born and passed away. So you got 1,000,000 times more people in the cemetery than you have walking, you follow me? And out those numbers, you had to have a lot of righteous people, right? So we're not just drawing on the people that's alive right now. We're drawing because we're talking about spirits and there's no death. You follow me?
Sure.
There are actually, you want to know how many created beings there are?
Yes.
There's 46 trillion created beings.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot of folks. Huh?
That's a lot, man.
Well, yes, it is. 46 trillion created beings. Next question.
I have another question.
Okay.
A pre-qualification for going to the new heaven and the new earth is, do they have to have a soul?
Do they have to have a soul? Of course they do. And more important than that, there are a lot of people here that are born with souls, but they don't activate them. They don't use them. For example, your oversoul is that silent voice that told you as a child, don't break that old lady's window, don't pull up them plants. And those of you that listened to that voice and didn't do these negative things, you listen to your soul. But those that did it anyway, that voice has become like rust upon their hearts. They can't hardly hear it no more. They didn't ignore it so much. It's like it's not even there. You can call it your conscience, Jiminy Cricket, whatever you want to, but what some people that has died in them, and they no longer have that light in them, a conscience or anything like that. You follow me? They're so used to ignoring God when he's talking to them, when they say, I'm in here talking to myself, but they can hear the voice of the devil, they hear that. The lower carnal self, the brain that talks to them, okay?
Sure.
Next question. Say it again. Okay, I love you.
I love you.
I really do. Okay. Next question.
I have a question.
Okay.
What exactly is a moon? When we look at the moon, and you asked us to go out and see our face in the moon, what exactly is a moon? Is it the eye of Ra?
No, the sun would be closer to that.
Yeah.
But the eye of Ra is in the spiritual realm, right? Now, the Ra actually comes from the word ray, like sun rays. Ra, okay?
Yeah. I know.
So when you speak spiritually about that, it's just like in ancient Egypt, when the Shemites or the priests were on the west bank of the Nile, they would wake up every morning while it was still dark, and they would start praying toward the east. And as the sun started rising, the first rays of the sunlight would hit the water of the Nile on the east bank, and it would start traveling across the Nile until it hit their eyes. And that's what they meant by the sun was walking on the water. Are you following me?
Yeah.
And the colors of the sun would be like the colors they give you in Jesus, with the blue and the toga, the blue and all. That's sun, S-U-N or S-O-N, because all Anunnaki are stars.
So when we look at the moon and we see all these different colors, different like rainbow color, what exactly is the moon?
Well, let me tell you about the moon. From this perspective, from 3D, the moon is only a mental projection from us. It's not really there. There's no solid matter. But on a lower vibration, what the moon is a station, a hollow orb that was placed there by disagreeable beings, so that on the planet Saturn, it has moons. One of them is Titan, right? 6 letters in Titan, 6 letters in Saturn. And there, reptilian beings broadcast very negative information across space to a receiver, a large receiver on the moon. It's about 20 miles high. And then they transmit that negative information to the Earth on an amplifier. They receive the signal that's weak by the time it gets to the moon, then they amplify it and then send it toward Earth. And all the people that are vibrating on a negative frequency, they pick up these signals and think it's the Most High. You understand? And it tells them all kind of negative things to think and do. And they just wake up evil. They don't even know why. But they dance into
artificial then.
Say it again.
It's an artificial construct, the moon.
Yeah.
It's not
But
real.
what it is, what I'm trying to say is the moon, like everything else, is different things to different people. It depends on your perspective and the height from which the question is being asked, okay? Because if I ask you what you are, you would say, I'm a human being. But on some level, you're actually a deity. You follow me? If I ask you, are you physical, spiritual, soulful, or etheric, what would you say?
All of them.
That's right.
All of them.
But which one do you identify with as this is me? Do you follow me? From what perspective are you looking at yourself? Have you made the journey within and turned yourself inside out to realize that you are a living soul projecting the illusion of a physical body? Or do you still think you're a physical body that possesses a spirit and a soul as some very peripheral aspect of yourself that's not really real? You follow what I'm saying? I'm trying to navigate you all through all these different things until you realize who and what you really are. You're a spirit that has a body as a lower aspect of itself. You're not a body that possesses a spirit and a soul. You're a soulful spirit that projects the illusion of a physical body. You follow? Look, it's time for you all to move stars tonight. Those of you that are sincere, go outside and tell me what you see. Hopefully somebody can see the moon. This is a very important spiritual exercise, and it also serves the purpose of you all bearing witness for the rest of the world. You follow me?
It's cloudy in Texas, Messiah.
I understand. I follow you.
I see one star.
Okay, where are you located?
It's moving.
That's Yucatan?
In the Netherlands.
Oh.
No, it's me, Devaney.
Okay. All right. We're going to make that star raise up in the name of Amun-Rayay. Now we're going to make it drop down. Now we're going to make it go in a circle clockwise. You see the movement, son?
No, it's still.
Okay. Well, you'll get there. Just stay close to me. Anybody else see it moving? I'm sorry? Somebody said two?
I see it moving now.
Okay. All right.
It's just going straight, one way.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Messiah, I can see the moon.
Okay. All right. We're going to raise the moon up now.
Huh?
You see that light keep blinking? Get it down.
Now we're going to drop the moon back down. You got to describe what you see while it's happening.
Yep, it moved up with some. Now it's moving with the clouds.
Yeah. Now it's going to move to the left.
Moving left.
Yeah. Now it's going to move back right.
Clouds are swirling around it.
Right.
So
yeah.
Moving it.
Did you tell the people your experience with math and how certain math is the same up and down as it is down and up?
No.
Can you explain that to them?
Oh, well, it was different. We had two boxes of the same sizes. One that was, say, about 2 inches thick one way, and we could turn it on its edge, and it was about 3.5 inches tall. And I thought that if you had one on the countertop and one on the floor, one on its side short ways and one on its side long ways, you could switch them and they come out the same, but it didn't.
Right. So what it is, I told him when he got here I was going to change math for him, so that if he was 6 feet from head to toe, he should be 6 feet from toe to head. Either way. But he found out when he got here that the math was different. I just want y'all to know that this reality is malleable, it's flexible, it's not a permanent fixture. That's why you can move the stars, because they're not a permanent fixture. Are you following me? I gotta say, Anukas, what do you see out there?
The moon is moving in and out of the cloud.
Oh, okay. So let me make the moon brighter and move it up.
The moon is bright, but the cloud is really dark.
Yeah. I just made it brighter, that's all. I just want y'all to know that all things are possible in all. Because the higher self said it was dictating as we, right? Not me. So when you think about me, flip it over to we, and you'll be all right. I love you all. Let me feel your presence. Let me feel your work. Let me feel your energy. Post up and bring everybody to class. Go and get them. Don't just sit there trying to make the journey for yourself, because it's not a singular trip. And thinking about only yourself, you block yourself from heaven. Yeah. Because heaven is a we place, you follow me? A us place. And there is no us without you. So do what you're supposed to do to earn your own throne. I love you all with all my might. The real Messiah, Nietzsche authority, Amun-Rayay, as a servant to the 144,000. And we're going to name this class, Amun gives clear directions. Amun gives clear description of heaven. And we'll take up where we left off on the next class to give you more information and input on heaven. And then when we have time in the future, we'll just let the woman describe heaven from her perspective. You follow me? So I hope you all are growing and learning, and I love you, and know that that's true. I hope you can feel that heartfelt whisper. I'm sincere. My love is real. It's divine. Peace.